One of the best things a woman can tell you is that, hey, you meet all the requirements of being a husband. Yeah, you got a good job, you got money, you squared away and all that stuff, but your mindset is jacked up. That's what's wrong with you. You just don't want to do certain things. Bingo. That means that you have healthy masculinity and healthy self-esteem, and you don't want to get on her plan as an obedient ATM or one of these dudes walking around holding their wives' bottles of water in their purse. She can't train you to be these egalitarian men. Especially you see a lot of them in our community and in many other communities itself. Those that have basically got their balls clipped, put in the jar with some pickle juice and hidden behind the peas and rice somewhere. Them dudes be like, you call them and say, yo, you coming out? We gonna hang out, whatever. No, man, I gotta talk to the wife. I gotta talk to the wife. They always got.
One of the best things that one of my old colleagues told me when I was down bad after a breakup, I was trying to figure out like ways to get past it. And I was like, did I love her well enough? And this was back when I was like, trying to be a good guy, trying to be the nice guy, trying to be the good Christian compliant dude. And he goes, it's not about how good you loved her. It's about how hard you fucked her. And obviously I wasn't having that at that time. I was just like, oof, man, that's no. But now I understand. After you've been through it enough times and shit doesn't change and you've got tossed aside, chewed out, spit out by the system, now you recognize, yep, actually actually being called a bad boyfriend is actually like really fucking that's actually a compliment. Being the good guy, being the good man is now just offensive.
Talk to the old lady. Not that they should mention, be respectful and say, look, I'm going to the gym to go hang out with the fellas for a minute. I'll be back. Just let people know where you're at or just doing certain things. But you just operate in your masculinity as a man. They cannot control you. And for most modern women that were raised to be these strong, independent women, not be under the leadership of men, they see men the same way the males are seen in the hyena kingdom. Subservient, submissive, simp husband serving their women. They always talk about it among their girlfriends about how they need to train a man to spend money, train a man to serve them. They even think men should be cooking for them.
I say this all the time. I don't mind saying in every damn video about modern women. They don't know what men want. They don't care, and they don't have to because there's always another guy that'll bail them out. It just is what it is, and then you turn around and wonder why men aren't men anymore. Why men are so heartless anymore, or not. It doesn't even matter. They're talking about the guys they want, right? But he mentions something, and I'll go a step further. They're designed to actually break your spirit. Modern women are designed to break your spirit, and we're not supposed to talk. That's the one thing Casey Zander actually gets right. It doesn't just stop there. Okay, and look, in all fairness, if you can have your spirit broken, you probably need to, right? It's part of the process. You learn from it, but nonetheless, uh, modern feminism teaches women to break men's spirit. Who the fuck wants to deal with a woman like that? It's so
serving them because that's what they've been taught through feminism, especially in the black community. They go back to the girlfriend. Oh, you see what my husband did with me today? He took me shopping. He spent money on me. Took me on vacation. He cooked my meal. Girl, he rubbed my feet when he come home. Basically, they want a bitch ass simp. So when they say you're husband material, that means they got somebody that is a obedient ATM who they can train to serve them. Maybe they get you some marital missionary once or twice a month. And trust me, you're not the guy that makes them wet. Because the guy that they wanted to get, most of the guys are usually in their friend zones. Like the guy, no, he's not in their friends. I'm sorry, my apology. The guy who they want is that rogue dude that comes over at 11 at night and pounds them out. That's who they want. They can't get him. So they have to settle for a safe, bill-paying man that basically is an obedient ATM. Maybe they give him marital missionary once a month. But he has to compensate by spending all types of money. He's got to go full Boyce Watkins on her ass where he worships the ground she walks on. And he's just basically her bitch. And most of those women end up leaving those men after a while because they've been imprinted. They're alpha widows. They've been imprinted by masculine men. And sooner or later, the thirst always wins. And they get back out here to be trying to get these greater voices and get back out here on these streets. Because they remember that guy on the basketball team, as you can see back there, that pounded them out back in the day. And all of a sudden she got...
This guy's hilarious. I love how he doesn't pull his punches. Holy shit. The truth is that there's almost no in between, right? I said this in one of my old videos. The savage simp. You're either one or the other. You can't be both at this point. You can't be both. It's not really possible.
deal with that guy down there, and she's unhappy and miserable in her marriage because she's been imprinted on by certain types of men because she's a modern woman, and they're just not raised that way. Period. I mean, it's just the way it is. And the other thing, let's pivot to this real man bullshit. Because you know why it's bullshit? Everything they talk about in being a real man, it only benefits individuals or people or society or anything outside of that man. It's never about real man watches his diet and keeps his A1C low. Real man works hard and becomes successful so he can retire early and live a great life on the beach. Real man does. It's always shame about everything that benefits them, nothing that benefits you. And your ass is nothing more than a disposable tampon, especially for these shame you leftover women. They're in the church. What do you think they're praying for? An obedient ATM. Half of them, their box has been blown out. They have been, it's like a whole phase reset. And then for these old women talking.
No, so I used to go to church, right? And I'll get in trouble because of my behavior, because I don't really play the HR game very well. I'm not good at it, okay? Or I don't care to anymore. So that's that, whatever. But like these, I would get like, I would have to get like these fucking lectures. I don't know what to call it. These talks by other girls, right? And in my head, I'm just like, I know you're not a virgin. I can tell already. I know why you're here. You know what I mean? It's just like, you want me to pretend and treat you like you're this faint, innocent, young, dapper little sundress lady, this innocent girl, this virtuous virgin who's gonna cook for me, who's gonna be my lovely wife, right? You want me to pretend to do that, right? Like, what are you hassling me for? The fuck?
About
At least I know
100% provider man. That's why a lot of dudes be going out like Bill Belichick and Uncle Earl. They be like, hell no, I'm not paying no 100% no bills for no old ass woman. She's got a dude that will do it, but she probably still got her body tight a little bit, even though she's had kids and Mook Mook and Day Day and Daquan and whatever else has smacked her that ass on the back, whatever, for years. But she wants a certain guy
I'm sorry.
that is in that percentage of men that she's still attracted to, but she wants him to be obedient, like the simp in her friend zone, telling her how beautiful she is. She want that dude that she wants to be trained like the obedient simp and obey her or serve her. So she wants everything on her terms, but she can't get that guy. And her delusion thinks that because she had sex with that guy when she was 25, that's who she wants, that's who she deserved, and that's who imprinted her. So she's always thirsting for that guy. So a lot of them many times would rather, they will hold out for as long as they can until they just don't have no other options, and then they gotta go marry old Rufus, like Boyce Watkins Rufus type dude. And
no, they won't. That's one thing I gotta disagree with you on. A Peaceful Life, bro. No, they don't have to date old Rufus. All right, the simp factory machine that we call the modern church is endless. All right, they're turning out simps like no tomorrow. She'll be fine. That is why you have to be absolutely vicious emotionally with women now. You like it was one day, yeah. I think it's always been a truth for men. You were replaceable, right? You have to perform. You like that. Your value is in that. But now it's like, holy shit! Like you're decimated. Not just like, okay, you lose your spot and you move down a couple rankings. No, you get nothing, nothing.
her life. You're a freaking fool if you do that shit. Make her ass play bills. It should be depreciated. I'll tell you what. I knock off 10% for every body you have. How about that? How many men you slept with? Well, shit, you might owe me money. If that's the case, well, you're not a virgin. Well, I'm old. Yeah, I know I'm an old ass dude that's been married and had kids. I ain't charging no brand new virgin prices. Hey, look, Peaceful Life is very, very agreeable, in terms of compromise and understanding value, But at the end of the day, everybody paying, virgin price for this. This is the problem with our culture. These women in, like, say, China would be Xingyu, which is code for leftover women. They would go down to the marriage market down there in China. Hey, them old mas or those old women would chase them out of there. Get out of here, you old. Never mind. I ain't gonna go and. I love the ladies. I'm not going to insult them. Them old ladies would be like, what the hell? You ain't marrying my son. You're not getting in my family. You too old. You can't cut the mustard, like Uncle Earl would say. They wouldn't do that.
That's the thing, too, bro. Like, fathers, this last generation, they just fucking... God, man. My next video I'm going to do about why the right is shifting more right for young men. And it's for this very reason, bro. Okay? This stuff, we got gaslit so hard, man. So hard. Anyway, wait, hold on. Let me get out of this real quick. Anyway, see, when you're compliant and you're a good boy and the system works for you, everything is pretty dandy. Everything will be fine. But when it doesn't, I'll be here waiting. All right, when you get back, don't say I didn't tell you so, but nonetheless, A Peaceful Life, he understands the caution about it. Think about what he said, right? He has nothing to lose. He's a 6-year-old bald-headed man. but he sees the dynamics, and there's some truth in that, isn't there? Isn't there? You know for a fact that if HR sees videos like that, if he's applying to jobs and actually wants like a reputable position with a channel like that, he's not getting hired. But it's what I see every fucking day. It's what young men see all the time, and you're not allowed to call it out. That's the thing, man. That's why that's why there's a huge shift happening on the right wing when it comes to young men. You're just pushing them more and more right wing than ever before. And honestly, I guess the pendulum swings both ways, as they say. But yeah, when you're expected to be this Christian guy or Catholic guy, whatever it is, the dapper, virtuous man, and the same girl who's posting Bible quotes and the cross and the beautiful sundress is also posting OnlyFans trailers and previews on that same TikTok. Yeah, I gotta give Devils its due, but unfortunately, it's also half Simps. I just gotta put that out there. It's also the Simps. You're not doing it. You're not helping anything out, man. Just giving these girls free ego boosts nonstop. I can't believe how many comments are put on one of these posts. She posts a Jesus post and it's 100 comments. She posts her ass, right, and Ephesians, 100 comments, bro. You guys are fucking the game up, man. Jesus Christ. At this point, I'm not gonna front, bro. At this point, when I see a post like that, I don't care what the hell, if she's a Christian or whatever. I literally go, "What's your OnlyFans username?" Anyway, I digress. Go subscribe to Peaceful Life if he clicks with you. Otherwise, hit moi up. I know I bounce around a variety of different topics, but nonetheless, I'll be here when you get back. Deuces.